Hi guys, this is Ranjit and this is going to be a different kind of video. Not a popular video, but I thought I should share my thoughts. And I've been noticing this trend from the past 2 years. And this is specifically for the Android smartphones that are sold in India. Because I've noticed the software experience slightly different in the counterpart sold in EU regions or in the US. And we know that from the last year's pandemic situation has changed in India. And I would say in India, the smartphone market, as of now, the majority of the smartphone market, close to about almost 85%, is below 15,000 price point. And if you go above that 35, 48,000 price point, it's less than 5%. So the biggest chunk is in this mid-range, I would say, or the budget range. And lastly, lately, from the past 2 years, if you have noticed, the pricing of the smartphones also has increased. That's we have noticed because of the GST and other logistic issues. That's not a problem. But what is happening is the software experience, Android software experience that we are getting now on these mid-range smartphones has deteriorated to such a low level that it is very, very concerning. Let me talk about that. And first, let's also look at the market share that currently we have. This is a stat from Counterpoint, but again, I did a little bit of digging, similar results from IDC also. And as you can see, this image, it says that Xiaomi is on the top. And if you noticed, Xiaomi share is almost the same, around 27% in 2019, and now it's about 26%. So more or less same. Samsung, strangely, if you notice, from quarter 2020, it has increased its share. So during the pandemic, actually, Samsung increased its share. And others that we have is Vivo, Realme, and Oppo. And others, it says that means Apple also is not a significant part. I believe Apple is just around 3%. So these are the big players that we have in the Indian smartphone market. That is Xiaomi, Samsung, Vivo, Realme, and Oppo. Indirectly, if you look at it, the Vivo, Realme, Oppo are all BBK group. So we can divide it into three. You could say Xiaomi, Samsung, and the BBK group. That's the major chunk of the market that we have. And sadly, again, if you know, this ad situation and all these things was started by Xiaomi a couple of years ago, almost about 3 years ago. I've been very vocal about it because I knew if this won't have stopped, this will creep slowly everywhere. And now that has actually happened. Luckily, Xiaomi has now actually toned down the ads a little bit. But again, there are some apps and stuff that you cannot uninstall. For example, security apps, and even for simple stuff on Xiaomi phones that run MIUI, specifically the Indian variants. Even for weather app, it asks you ridiculous amount of permissions. Even I don't recall, there was one custom UI for using the built-in calculator, it was asking so many permissions. So again, privacy is an issue, and many of these custom UIs, in the background they have the security app and stuff that is running continuously, and again tracking stuff. So we know that, but we have seen this ad situation with Xiaomi. Again, we have also seen that with Oppo and Vivo, and also they'll install a lot of unnecessary apps, that is bloatware, that we get with these smartphones. Luckily, in this area, I would say Realme is slightly better. Don't get me wrong, Realme also has a little bit of bloatware and stuff, but there is just one check mark. If you do that in the settings, you don't get any ads on too much of unwanted notifications. So that is the thing, but yes, it's still there. The only I would say smartphone in this BBK group, again, let me iterate, the BBK group, that is Oppo, Vivo, Realme, iQOO, and Oneplus. I feel the only clean UI Android experience that is giving is Oneplus in this BBK group. Fortunately, still OnePlus does not have ads, and they don't install a lot of bloatware or anything, or with updates introduce a lot of unwanted junk apps. So that way I would say OnePlus is clean, but now we know the merger of OnePlus and Oppo, it's in the news. So I hope OnePlus stays clean with the Oxygen OS. They don't introduce ads and stuff, because even on Oppo phones that are significantly priced higher, 35,000, I have seen a lot of bloatware being installed on Oppo smartphones. So I hope OnePlus stays clean. Let's see what will happen. But if you talk about one more trend, and this is with Samsung, and here I'm very, very disappointed now with Samsung. If you know the Samsung mid-range smartphones, specifically for India, those are the M series smartphones that are sold online via Amazon, F series, same phone. It's basically rebranded for Flipkart, and we have the A series. And lately, from past 6 to 8 months, I'm noticing that most of the Samsung M series and even A series and the F series phones come with a lot of bloatware installed. And in fact, while you're setting up the phone for the first time, if you don't set it up properly, you will see ads and a lot of nagware. In fact, the last M series smartphone that I had unboxed, M32, a significant portion of the video, almost 3 or 4 minutes, I showed how to set up the phone. The situation has become so bad that a regular user, while setting up the phone, will accidentally give all the permissions and see a lot of junk. So I'm seeing this trend now even with Samsung. So Samsung used to be a little bit clean earlier, but now in the mid-range market, even Samsung is installing a lot of bloatware. In fact, Samsung now with the M series and even some of the A series, actually when you get an OTA update, you will get a lot of bloatware installed with that. So if you want the updates, you will get bloatware. So this is a very sad trend that I'm seeing in the industry. So all the big players, Xiaomi, if you take the Xiaomi phones, or the BBK group phones, except OnePlus, and now even Samsung, all in the mid-range are having a lot of bloatware, and you have to live with it. So this is a very sad trend. If you're buying an Android phone, the end user experience is simply not that great. So do we have some exceptions? Yes, we do have some exceptions. For example, as I've told you, OnePlus is still clean in this area. I have to give kudos to them where they do. Yes, they are doing some things wrong. I have already spoken about that earlier. But in the UI, they are clean. And apart from OnePlus, because OnePlus is not under 20,000, so we strictly in India, I can't say it's mid-range. Above 20,000 is a very different price segment in India. So under 20,000, if you're looking at a smartphone with a clean UI, no ads, no bloatware, no nagware that keeps on irritating you, then I think so the only options that we have is Motorola and Nokia. And Nokia has become so insignificant in India. In fact, their market share is now less than even 1% in India, because the price to performance ratio of smartphones of Nokia is simply not that good. Just recently, 2-3 days ago, they launched a phone. The specs of the phone were so average that even if it was priced for about 8 or 9,000, many people would have ignored it. It was priced at 14,000. So if Nokia HMD continues to launch very mediocre phones at a high price, simply Indians will not buy that. And that is the reason we are not seeing Nokia gaining traction in India. So the only way Nokia can get the market share back is being aggressive, but as of now, it does not look like that. Another company that if you want a clean UI, then that's Motorola. From last 7-8 months, I'm seeing that they are introducing a lot of new phones. So Motorola is also that clean Android experience that you are getting. In fact, I made an analysis of Motorola just a month back, so I won't talk about that. So these are the two options that we have. But again, even the Motorola's share, if I recall, all over Indian market is just about 2.4%. So Nokia and Motorola are simply not making a big impact. So most of the users are left with the three biggies, as I've told you: the Xiaomi, the Samsung, and the BBK group. And under 20,000, if you're buying any of these smartphones, you will get a lot of bloatware, nagware, and the entire experience, I would say, is not that good. And this is degrading the experience of an Android smartphone, I would say. And Google needs to look at this seriously. And Google also has to get a little bit aggressive in the Indian smartphone market. Last year, if you recall, we had the Google Pixel 4a. It was for 29,000, if I recall. Excellent smartphone. But again, at that price point, it is significantly above that 20,000 price point or even the 15,000 price point. So if Google really needs to make an impact, they should actually release a special phone for India and price it closer to the 20,000 price point. And if they can do that, then these other vendors will also get up and just not do whatever they want to do with the software experience, because the situation is getting really, really bad now. And I think so in almost any of my mid-range smartphones now have to spend a lot of time on the software experience, how to remove the nagware and stuff. It has become to such a bad state now. And I hope a situation changes, because if it doesn't, eventually some people who can spend a little bit more will migrate to the iPhone. Yes, iPhones are pricey, but in terms of privacy and nagware, it's still a lot better. And let's be very clear, guys. A typical iPhone can easily last for about 4 years, but the software update situation is a lot better compared to most of the Android smartphones. So I hope this is a wake up call for Android smartphone manufacturers and users also, because we are getting a very degraded experience now, and Google also has to wake up and say enough is enough, man. Just don't do this. So I hope situation changes next year. I hope I'll make a video where I'm very cheerful about it, but as of now, the Android smartphone state market in India, specifically under that 20,000 price point, is really, really bad. If you are using an Android phone in the mid-range, segment, would love to know your thoughts. What's your experience with the smartphone? Also, just when you're sharing your experience, list the model of the smartphone and what do you feel about the software experience and how these vendors can improve it. I hope this situation changes. Anyways, guys, that's it for now for this video. If you guys are still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.